The world's on fire, interest rates are dragging Kiwi saver balances into a shallow grave, and somehow, amidst all of this chaos, Christopher Luxon got popular. And if you think this has nothing to do with Donald Trump, well then you clearly haven't been paying attention. The popular Maurice Williamson returns, a former cabinet minister under both Bolger and Key governments. He's seen it all from the inside machine and isn't afraid to call it like it is.
Financial freedom faster. Financial freedom faster.
Last week, more people watched this channel than all the other New Zealand property shows combined. Subscribe and get ahead. We are your unfair advantage in New Zealand property. Serve daily, no apologies. Maurice, Christopher Luxon, is he the adult in the room now that everything has been burning down?
Well, he struck a particular vein that he's really good at. He's a businessman, and that's where his training, and that was probably one of his downfalls. He didn't know how to do the political answer. He would always give a pretty boring, bland chief executive of a board type thing. He's now struck an area of policy which is the whole of the world trade and the whole of the world's economy. I mean, going down in a handbasket by the hour as you watch the graphs and the screens. And it's something he can talk about quite well. The international finance markets he knows a lot about and how they move. The real problem you've got is that you've got to be terribly careful not to insult the United States, because if you do, they'll just move against you and take you out because they're so big. I mean, I think Pierre Trudeau, Justin's father, once said, being Canada was like sleeping in the same bed with an elephant. If the elephant even moved, you could get really badly hurt. And that's true for the United States for us. So we've got to be polite and courteous, but make it clear we don't agree with some of the nonsense, because what's interesting, they don't even agree with it. America's now going, well, we didn't mean iPhones, and we didn't mean laptops. But you know what that means? A slippery slope of exemptions are coming, because even the nuts and bolts that you screw in to make anything like a car or a dishwasher that are made in America, they've got the tariffs on them, which is going to have to come off. And in the end, I reckon the exemptions will be longer than the list of non-exempt. Meanwhile, the buffeting that the world markets will take is it'll be up and it'll be down, it'll be up and it'll be down. And it won't be good for people looking at their Kiwi saver, because they'll be going, oh, Jesus. On another day, they'll say, oh, it's come back okay. I think everyone just has to stay calm. We can't control the captain of a huge Titanic. We're in a rowboat hoping he doesn't run over us.
Yeah, and if we look at the New Zealand economic situation, we've had Grant Robinson, Adrian Orr, that kind of engineered a recession. Now we've got a new coalition government, and Trump, a guy a million miles away, has done things that impact New Zealand. If you go back to 1974, when the UK joined the EU, what we had to do is get creative. And my understanding is that our meat exports, as an example, we couldn't just send everything to Britain like we used to, and we had to send live exports to the Middle East. We got creative and we found ways to make money in different ways.
But that's the human condition no matter what. If you are forced out of your comfort zone because it's no longer working, you find ways to do things if you're good and talented. And New Zealand, I mean, the biggest whingers in this country about protection and subsidies and guaranteed minimum prices and all that was the farmers. The farmers were shocking. We had 70 million sheep, supposedly. Of course, we never did. But that's what they were getting paid for by registering how many sheep they all had and so on. Well, guess what? When they were forced to face reality, when they were forced to have to go into the markets and generate being the best product, who's now the strongest advocates for free market, open trade, no barriers? Our farmers.
Yeah.
Because they're the best in the world. And they weren't the best in the world when they were living off subsidies. And that's the true case for all sorts of industries.
Looking ahead at what's going on, China looks to be in a trade war with our allies, Australia, America. Are we in a position now where we need to, coming ahead to Anzac Day, work closer with our allies and declare ourselves in a position?
No, I don't think we should ever use security and military as part of our trade. Ronald Reagan used to say they're so different. If you have a good trade relationship with a country, you both can win. They're both winners. If you have a war with another country, one of you has to win and the other has to lose. They're chalk and cheese. They're not even the same thing. We could play quite a major part along the way. I mean, we punch above our weight in a lot of things. In terms of the advocacy of free trade, we have always been able to get out there and show what the benefits are, because you've got all the closeted French farmers are all trying to protect their industry and they want. We could actually play a major part as long as we keep remembering there are certain things we'll do really well. I mean, what Peter Beck's done with Rocket Labs is outstanding. Who would have thought we would be into the space race as a country? But make sure we're not into making junky old TVs or cars that were a piece of crap and subsidising them in order to make New Zealanders pay through the nose. I think the future's quite bright for us. It's just going to be very rocky in the short term till America gets things settled down.
Maurice, if you're in cabinet now, what do you think they would do if markets crashed?
I don't quite know what crash would mean. Depends on. It's going to be completely realigned no matter what. The world's markets will change. The substance of world trade and the substance of the world economy and currency exchange rates will take a bit of a pounding. I think we just have to stay calm, know that we have got a number of things on our side. We make fantastic products in the space where the world wants them. I probably said this on your channel before, but while I was Consul General in LA, I was in shops on a regular case when I heard Americans get out of their fancy cars, come walking, do you have any New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc? Yes, aisle 7, but we've got some nice Australian. No, I want the New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. I heard in butcher shops a lady say to me, is that New Zealand lamb? And he said, no, it's Chilean. She said, forget it. I'll get some New Zealand lamb down the road. We've built a brand name on really good products that are able to be sold at premium prices, and we can leverage off that. We would never have got through COVID without China. We would never have got through it. China was the rock that saved us in our trade imbalances and so on as time went by. And you don't need to take sides. You know, like every one of your viewers will know that if there is a bit of a family dispute going on between a husband and wife, best thing you can do is not take sides. Be nice to them both. When the wife's telling you how dreadful, you just say, oh, that's nice, thank you, bye. Because the moment you take sides, you'll get hurt no matter what. And at the end of it, you may end up with them getting back together and both hating you. And we have got every right to be a good trader with whoever's prepared to buy our products.
A reminder, money's not polite. It moves fast, and the people subscribed to this channel, they're already running past you. Thinking about it won't save you. Subscribing might. Looking ahead, Winston's just turned 80.
Yep.
Has he still got another round left in him, or is he going to pass the baton down to Shane, you think?
I don't know. I mean, he'll make that decision, but I'm 75 next birthday, and I don't think that's
frightly.
It's just a number. It's just a number. I mean, in the end, if you've still got your mind working well, my mum died last year at 101, and she was bright as, she would call me up after the news some nights and say, why the hell did Christopher Luxon have to go and say that? And I said, I haven't even seen the news. What did he say? She said, well, it's a stupid thing and he shouldn't have said it. You tell him. And I said, I can't tell Christopher Luxon he shouldn't have said something. Now, that was at 101 years old. So I think Winston's got lots left in him. I think he's an outstanding foreign minister. I don't know anybody that's been as good in terms of representing New Zealand on the world stage as he does, with very clear messaging and what looks professional and stunning. I mean, I'm sorry to say it, but Nanaia Mahuta looked like she was the sort of manager of the Parirua KFC when she showed up to meet with Anthony Blinken and so on. So Winston's given us a really good image on the world stage. And I tell you why I'm happy to say it more than anything. I was a diplomat living in the United States, went to New York, went to Washington, D.C., met heaps and heaps of foreign diplomats who nearly all repeated it. You're really lucky to have a guy like him as your foreign minister. He's well respected.
Well, you're famous for your big gay rainbow speech. What's your take on this Greens situation? They seem to want to represent a whole demographic, and I don't know if that's fair.
Oh, I just think the Greens are literally a shambles. They first of all are not a Green Party. I think you could take them to the Consumer Guarantees Act and prosecute them, because what's on the tin is not what's inside. I mean, they are not even close to a Green Party. Rod Donald was, Jeanette Fitzsimons was. This lot aren't green. Some central apparatchik of the Czechoslovakian Communist Party would think they were a bit too extreme.
Yeah,
in my view. And some of the bizarre things they do in this Benjamin Doyle story, again, don't take my judgment. What did the Green Party say to him before he was selected. You'll need to take down your website because it's pretty destructive. And he said, no, they are entitled to their opinion, which is him, you see, because he's a they and a there. And guess where it got them? And if you added up the number of months of time paid Darlene Tana until she finally got the boot, and Golriz Garriman until she stopped shopping at Scotty's. I loved it. She had PTSD, so she went and shopped at the best shop in town. You know, I mean, no one believes that. But you take what's been going on with some of these people who are real Looney Tunes, and the media don't even touch them, oh, we don't want to do that or whatever. So, yeah, look, I'm a big fan of gay people having their own rights. I gave a speech about it, and good on them and well done. But this is not that. This is not even close to that. These people just are. And when you've got Tamitha Paul, who won the Wellington Central seat with 18,000 votes.
Yeah.
So I want to know from the doctors' wives of Kandala and Karori, are you happy with your call? Because you've now got a woman who says she'd rather walk down a dark alley with a mongrel mob were than the police. Tell me that's what you're happy. That what you voted for? And I want to know if you vote for that next time and you vote for Tory Whanau to be your Green Mayor. Because Wellington, you deserve everything you get if the answer's yes.
Thanks for your insights today, Maurice.
It's great to be here. I can tell you I get getting feedback now about your channel. You are really hitting the mark. There are so many people I know now watching and listening to you. It's quite amazing. I was just up at the Howard Club the other night and someone said, I was watching you on Mortgage HQ. And you're getting some real gravitas in what you're doing, and therefore the formula must be right.
Well, thanks, Maurice. And a reminder, every video on this channel is a tactical edge. If you own property, want to own property, or just hate feeling behind, subscribe. Or keep losing to people who already have.